And I believe we are live. Hello, everyone.
It says we are live. Live, live, live.
Yay! Um, I'm just gonna refresh my screen and make sure that we are all in the right place.
Okay.
Um, so yep, I see us on my business page. So I assume we are at all the other places too. So, yay. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. If you are watching this, we always like you to say hashtag live. If you watch the replay, that's cool too. Hashtag replay. The more you talk to us, the more it pushes out like the algorithm to everybody else, right? We got to play that Facebook game um, and make sure that people are seeing the video and all that. So, we are going to talk about it. What's that mean? That just plainly means let's talk about Park Lane in general. I've done this segment with like Jenny worked before and now Nancy, both out actually in California. And by the way, if you're commenting, there's a little thing that says we're using StreamYard to go live from. And if you click on that streamyard.com/Facebook, it just gives them permission to use your name so we can see it on our little screen here. But we can also view the comments later too. So hello, whoever said hi. I don't know if that's on your page
I'm not.
or it must be in your group, I think. So yeah. Um, I want to say I'll introduce myself because there's people on your page that don't know me, and then Nancy, I would love you to introduce yourself too because people don't know you on my side of things since we're streaming into
Right.
your group and mine. Um, my name is Sacha Pancrat, Senior Division with Park Lane Jewelry, and I have been in the direct sales world of jewelry for this is going on 16 years, which is really crazy. Yeah, this is my 16th year of business. October is kind of my anniversary mark for selling jewelry, but I've been with Park Lane since 2015 when they found me. And I don't know. I'm a mom of three. I have three elementary age kids, a husband who works a big job that is like 12-hour shifts, and when he gets called out to work, he has to go to work. Like there's nobody else that can do his job really. So makes it challenging, but yet also great that I have such a flexible position here that I can work however I want to work. Yes, okay, Missy, I see your comment. Hello. But yeah, so and I will say this. The jewelry business has seen me in every single aspect of my life. Without kids, working multiple jobs. And then I got married and then I started just leaving those jobs. And then my husband and I wanted to start a family. So then I completely left all the corporate jobs and just went full time with my direct selling jewelry business. And here I am. So yeah, worked my way up the ladder too through all those years. But that's a little bit of my story. Nancy, your turn. Introduce yourself for all of my people and kind of give a little background.
Sounds good. Hey, everybody. I am Nancy Anderson, and I am an area leader with Park Lane Jewelry. And I have been in the direct sales jewelry business since 2010. So 13 years this month, actually. And with Park Lane since 2015,
14?
I think also.
14, 15? Okay.
2015 also. But anyways, I never thought I would do any sort of direct sales, much less jewelry. But here we are 13 years later. And in addition to my jewelry business, I also work a full-time job just because I love it. And I am married. I've got 3 kids. All of mine are all grown up though. So they pretty much, I have to beg them to come over. But so anyhow, so I work my day job during the day, do a little bit of jewelry in between, and then and yeah, just doing the deal.
Yeah. Yeah. And Nancy and I, and you were with the other company, right? The one that I was
Uh,
with too. Yeah. So we both came from a different company that shut its doors because, well, there's lots of reasons why it shut its doors, and yeah, and Park Lane really, they found us, and I am so incredibly grateful. I don't know. I assume you feel the same way,
absolutely,
Nancy. Uh,
absolutely.
there's so many things that when we look at Park Lane and we kind of look at what other companies do for their customers, their hostesses, their fashion directors, or their stylists, whatever they call them, it's really eye opening as to what Park Lane has to offer versus what other companies do. Um, so, and I'm similar to you, Nancy, where I didn't realize I was really gonna do this jewelry thing either. I didn't wear jewelry.
Right.
I didn't wear jewelry when I was introduced. Yeah, you're the same.
Yep.
But
Tomboys.
I know I signed up 16 years ago because I needed some extra income. And I know I was working three other jobs, but I needed that little something just to help me with the taxes on my new townhouse that I owned. And that's truly what I was looking to cover one bill, and that's why I signed up to do the jewelry thing, because I knew I was in charge of my schedule. I knew I could work when I wanted to work. And well, let's be honest, the lady who did my very first party, she drank my white, ate my food, and made $300 legally.
Right.
So, so like what? Okay. You just hung out with me and made $300. I don't understand that. So
But I'm in.
yeah, but I'm in. Okay. So as you watch this live, go ahead and comment if you have any questions for us in regards to the business. Be nosy. Ask us questions and we'll try to answer them along as we go and kind of just talk about Park Lane in general. Um, I'm going to tell, okay, Nancy, I'm going to ask you what, when you were introduced to Park Lane, what was one huge aha thing for you with the company?
um, Basically, the fact that, first of all, as you said, because we came from the other company, um, I needed something I needed a product, first of all, that could compete, as
Hmm.
I put it, right? So much better in the end, I'm finding out. But I needed a quality product. Um, I wanted to stick with jewelry because I loved the way it, when I would deliver that jewelry to my customers, my friends, my hostesses, I would deliver that jewelry and just to see them like so excited and to light up. So that just like really did it for me. And then basically when when I found out that with Park Lane, that I did not have to worry about ever being demoted.
Yeah.
So once I moved up into the leadership, I didn't have to worry about ever moving back down. Um, that was pretty much, I just figured, why not? Let's give
Yeah.
it a
Right, let's give it a shot. That's kind of why I went in. I It was very apparent that Park Lane recognized our leadership skills, coming over from a different company. Um, that that meant a lot to me, and that was one thing that Scott spoke from his heart when I met with him personally. Yeah, he met with me personally before I actually signed on the dotted line. And he said, he's like, "Well, we recognize leadership. We see all the years and all the things that you did at that other company, and we want to recognize that. We're not going to start you at the bottom." And that was like, "What?
right.
Really?" That's huge. They treat it like a corporate position. So, and not everybody has that leadership. Not everybody's going to be coming from another company. And with that said, though, you mentioned you don't get demoted. It's amazing to me how quickly people can move up the pay scale with Park Lane. and they get to keep that, because that demotion, that was a huge um bummer out of the other
Yeah,
company, where it was like, gosh, I could totally do that next promotion level, but I know that it's not sustainable. And
right,
Park Lane allows us to have that give, that like allows us to let life happen in a way.
right.
Um
And really, like, um I remember just being in tears with when before we came over to Park Lane, because it was the holidays, and my team had, they were taking the holidays off to enjoy it with their families. And so I was the only one, kind of working,
mhm,
and basically knowing that if I did not do X amount to meet my team goal for that month, that I was going to be demoted. And I went to my husband and I'm like, it shouldn't matter, but it does. Like, it matters,
yeah.
you
Right.
know? And I was just, like I said, I remember just being
Right.
devastated,
Right.
and that might happen. It didn't, but
Right. Right. But what
you
a
know,
joy sucker. What a joy
yeah,
sucker out of like
yeah,
doing something that you love. You know what I mean? Like, let's talk frank. Like I
right,
I mean, I what who wants to live with that kind of pressure when,
right,
when you have a team of girls, and then if all of a sudden something happens to your rock star seller, if life happens to them where somebody in their family gets sick, or
right,
somebody takes a 2 week vacation, which they should be able to take a 2 week vacation, God bless them if they can do that, but you know what I'm saying, like,
yeah,
um but what who wants to live their life meeting those kind of pressure and those demands,
right.
and still enjoy their side hustle, if it's
It
a
took
side hustle?
all the fun out of it in the end. It really
Yeah.
did. Just
Yeah.
just always having to watch the numbers, and
Yep.
all of
Yep.
that kind of it really took all of the fun out of it. And I remember when we went to our first convention with Park Lane, and my husband actually telling Scott, like, like, it's so good to see her happy again, and not,
Yeah. That's so huge.
just
That is
not
so
under.
huge. Yeah, yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, that was a huge aha moment for me with Parkland too. Also though, like, their hostess program was a huge aha moment as well, because I just could not believe how much free jewelry our hostesses can score.
Right.
Um and it's like, I was just blown away, and then it was between that and their commission structure, which nobody can match. That
No
nobody
one.
can match I don't care where you're at. If you're higher up in another company and you're watching this and you're like, I think I could, what I challenge everybody, like, just take whatever you made from that other company and then put it into the Park Lane pay structure, and you tell me where you would sit, where you would land. Because that's when people start doing that, then they're like, whoa, that right
Abs-
there is a debt-free company, right?
yep. Yep.
That is a debt-free company that is really speaks volumes. And with that said, okay, so there's a stat out there that I haven't mentioned in a really long time, that I was reminded of this when we were in Hawaii, that um basically 72 cents on each dollar that Parkland takes in goes right back out their door, goes into our commissions, goes into our host program, goes into our customer sale, that every day buy two get up to four, and then toss in those bonus buys. 72 cents on each dollar they take in. That is a giant amount. And it may not sound like a lot, but the average is like 30 to 35 cents that companies take from each dollar they take in and they put back. 72 versus like a 35.
Yes.
That should show everybody, like, that's why they can do that hostess program. That's why they can pay their people the way they pay their people. It's really amazing.
Yeah, the generosity of the company is just it's mind blowing. And all of this time that we've been here, I can honestly say that they have never taken anything away from us. Nothing has ever been taken away. It's always adding. And sometimes, I tell my customers, like, I don't know how they do it. Just take advantage of it. Take advantage. They've been doing it for almost 70 years. So obviously it's working.
Right? Obviously it's working. Obviously they're doing something right, because it's just amazing
Yep.
what they can do for us. But that mark right there, that is a true number. 72 cents on each dollar goes right back into all the things. So, yeah. Um whenever we get new jewelry, Nancy and I talk, and we're like, how do they do it? How?
Over and
Like the
over.
last catalog, we were saying, like, this is the best jewelry, this is the best designs, these are so amazing, right? And then they come out with a new line, and it's like,
And it's like, how do they do it?
it's so true. It's like,
Right.
I don't understand how they do it. I mean, the when Nancy and I joined, I will say this, from when Nancy and I joined to now, we have both seen a huge change in the company as well, and it's been
Oh,
all good changes, like
absolutely.
updates to different programs and updates to, like, even their logo. They updated their logo and the colors, and so many changes has happened just in the time span when we started in 2015,
Mhm.
and into now. And
Yep.
we I want to tell you guys, it's not just the CEOs making those changes, it's them listening to what we have to say. um that speaks volumes as well. Like, we have somebody in our team underneath the Amazing Mary Grace, because that should be her title, Amazing Mary Grace, right? um
Queen Mary.
I know. But one of the gals is really in tune with designer items.
Oh,
And
yes.
and she, whenever she sees like a brand new designer item come out, she brings that to Taylor the Vine, our fashion lady, Scott, daughter, the CEO's daughter, and says, Taylor, check out this design of whatever designer item it is. Can we park lane this? Can we, like, this would be amazing, it's beautiful, it's hot on trend, and all those things. And they listen and they work together. They hear us out when we have suggestions. You want to know how many times I've told Taylor that we need Moana earrings and hematite? A lot. Like, you know what I mean? That hasn't come through yet. However, like, they listen to us, right, Nancy? Like,
Absolutely. Absolutely. That was one of the other things that I was going to say as well. Um, so I'm just going to share with you guys, and Seisha's going to know exactly what I'm talking about. With the other company, when we would go to convention, um, if we wanted to see the owners, I mean, they were corporations, so I guess like the president, vice president, whatever. If we wanted to see them, like, they literally had photo ops. So they would come out at certain times, and we all had to wait in line if we wanted to like take a photo with them or anything like that. And I'm going to tell you guys, I think it was the year before COVID happened. We were in Chicago for our convention in July. And I went in a couple of days early because one of our sound people, um, actually, him and Mary Bridget Davies, if you know of A Night with Janis Joplin on Broadway, they're very good friends. And so they were playing at a club in Chicago. So we went a couple of days early, and I walked into that club, and I had just barely walked in the door. And our CEO, Scott Levine, from across the room yells out, Nancy! I hadn't even seen him yet. And so just the fact that, like I can run up to our CEO anywhere, if he's got a home in Palm Springs now. And so if I go down to Palm Springs and I see him at a club or a restaurant or whatever, I can go up and be like, hey, let's take a selfie, or, sit down and have a drink with him and things like that. And so it's just really amazing that, um, like, they actually know who we are,
Yeah.
you know, and
It's
so it's not, they're not celebrities. They're the,
yeah. Yeah. You're right. That other company, man, I remember the bodyguards around him. I remember it.
yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah,
it was
yes,
just
right,
it was a little ridiculous. I'm like, oh, okay, okay.
right,
And but yeah, I remember that, when I flew out to meet with Scott in Palm Springs, to talk about Park Lane and get to know him and all those things. Like, it was just really amazing to me that he would take the time with, at like little old me and the gal who
right,
was also with me. Like, it was I can't believe you are just taking, this half a day to chat with me, just and all that stuff. And then the next time he saw me, well, yeah, it was convention, and like it was just really insane. But with along with that, so I in September I was in Aruba with Park Lane. Last year I was able to go to Key West, and then and Aruba in September, with Park Lane Jewelry. Like, luxury travel trip was just amazing. But I was standing in Aruba. They rented out this private island for us to go to. I know it sounds extravagant, but this is what they did. And they basically had a family beach day. And that is exactly what I want to call it, because this private island had like water slides, it had flamingos, it had like all sorts of fun things you could do at this island, right? And I was standing in this area of this cove with a bunch of park laners. We're just standing and talking. And all of a sudden, Arthur Levine comes down. And Arthur is one of the brothers, another CEO of the company, and just starts, drinking his drink, standing in the ocean with us, and just chatting away. And he goes, our kids have been looking forward to this vacation, and already like looking at the slides and like talking about who's going to go down the slides first. He goes, we treat this as a family vacation with you guys because you all
right,
are our family. And
right,
he's sincere. He would not
yes,
be standing in the middle of the ocean in a cove in his swimsuit and my swimsuit, whatever,
right,
but he's like, we're family and we want
yeah,
this to be like a family. And so it's really powerful, and you can see that through
yes,
their loyalty to us. They There's a lot of people in Park Lane, and
right,
our
right,
CEOs know us. They know
right,
our first names.
right,
They know where
exactly.
we live.
They
They
know our
know that they follow us on Facebook. We're Facebook friends.
yeah, yes.
But
And that's
it's
another thing. Yeah, like I can, you know, message Scott, send Scott a private message on Facebook if I've got like an issue with something, or, if I really need something. And, obviously Chicago is 2 hours ahead of California, right?
yep,
Two
yep,
hours, right? And so, but yeah, so if the office is closed, I can private message him on Facebook. And it's like, I mean, obviously he's busy sometimes, but 9 times out of 10, it's within like 3 to 5 minutes. He's like, "Oh, hey, Nancy," you know,
yeah,
and getting back to us. So
yeah.
just those things like that. It's truly amazing.
It is amazing. It's amazing that they're a worldwide company, but yet they have that personal touch with all of
Right.
us. And
Exactly.
it's just unreal. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so I think we have like 5 people watching. If you have comments or questions or a burning something you want to ask, drop it in here. And Marissa's saying that, personal touch in the biz is the best. It really truly is. It speaks so much in volumes. It really does. So drop a question along the way, and we're happy to answer it. So, and Um, yeah, so and Nancy and I go way back. And
Right.
it is just really exciting to have that connection. And that's one thing that I've noticed even more so since COVID is the deep connections we have with our people across the US.
Right.
And
Right.
as much as COVID sucked going through it and all that stuff, it really taught us how to break down our barriers, right?
Right.
And I love how, like, I've got a slew of really great people out in Georgia and also now in California, along with you, Nancy, along with, just like,
Right.
it's just amazing how that really let us strip down our walls and be able, the reach is just incredible. At,
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Some of my, um, I've got people in Florida and, up in Washington, um, Idaho, um, just all over the place.
yeah,
Tennessee.
yeah, yeah. Um, Yeah, okay. So Marissa says, I've been in these calls, but you can go in more depth if you want to. And the higher you can't you but I bet you'll under okay, I'm not
Okay. I think what she's saying. Let me see. Let me read that one more time. Whoops. Um,
if you're saying like you can't let's see.
you can't like how you can't. There's no like demotion or commission reduction or anything like that. I think
Right.
is what she's asking.
Right. Yeah. Do not apologize, Marissa. Don't apologize. I think we understand cuz Otis is going to knock over my Um, sorry, my big old dog just walked in my office. You can't get demoted. So there's several different ways to get a pay raise in Park Lane. And for one is a simple like you sell so much in your career, and then you're going to get an automatic 2% pay raise. So you're going to go from 30% to 32%. Um, or the fastest pay raise you can get with anybody with when you first start, if you're starting as a fashion director, is to just sign on with a friend, and that friend is technically your recruit, and then your leader, whether it's me or Nancy or whoever it is, we're going to work so you both get up there, and then that person is automatically going to push you up to that next level, which is branch. So,
And
and
I,
that's
mhm.
the I'm gonna shut this door again. That's the glorious thing is that you can move up the ladder so incredibly quickly, and you'll always keep that promotion. That very first promotion, that 35%, is a huge jump, and it's very easy to do.
Yes.
So it's almost like bringing a buddy along the ride for your business ride, and then that person's technically on your team, but you don't ever have to worry about training them because that's what we do.
Right.
Like, you don't have to do anything. We'll take care of it for you because we want to see you succeed. We
Exactly.
want to see you get that pay raise. And if by chance your friend that you brought along for the ride that got you up to branch all of a sudden stops doing whatever, it's no big deal.
You're
You
still
don't have
brand.
Yeah, you're still a branch. You're still earning that 35%, regardless if that person is still around.
Right.
So you'll never lose that 35%. Even if you have to take a month off and you come right back in, you're going to come right back in at 35%. So, which is just really great because, like, yeah, not that doesn't happen. Like, I've certainly heard from other companies where it's like, oh man, I got to submit so much in product this month in order to keep my whatever. I'm like, oh man, okay.
Right. Oh, and that's another thing too, is that I know that you've all seen it. And don't get me wrong, I would never knock any other direct sales company or anyone's choice to be in that. But I know that you've all seen it as well, is that um other companies, like each month you might see somebody that you're Facebook friends with saying, I need to sell another $150 this month, or $100 or whatever it may be, because there are quotas every single month in order for them to stay active. And guess what? Our quota is
Zero.
zero, zero, zero
Zero.
quotas.
Yep.
So it's just another, it, as Sasha said earlier, it takes that pressure off and makes it, there are those people who, um, you know, want to make six figures doing direct sales and, or whatever. But then there are those other people who, you know, just want to pay for their daughter's ballet lesson or
Yes.
the tax bill or the car payment or whatever it
Yeah.
may be,
Right.
and the fact is that if that's all you want to do, that's all you do. And if
Right.
you miss goals sometimes, oh well, you just try again later.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that's one thing, like, you'll notice too, is that you're not going to ever get pressured from that person that brought you in, or from us as a leadership team. We're in it for whatever you're in it for. Like, of course we have our team goals and things like that, but like, if your goal is to do X amount, we're going to help you get to X amount. We're not going
Right.
to force you and keep poking you and be like, oh, you need to go out and do this. Oh, no, no. That is not how we function here.
No.
We just want you to be successful in whatever that successful looks like for you and your family.
Correct.
Um, and I think another a, a really great way to like pinpoint it down. So if you take like an hourly wage, I don't know, hourly wages is different everywhere you go, your state wage or whatever. But if it's like $10 a month or $10 an hour, right? This was really eye-opening for me when somebody put it this way. Okay, so say you have to go work at Sunglass Hut. You're getting your minimum wage, $10 an hour. You have to say you're going in for a 4-hour shift, because usually, like, if you work part-time, you got to work 4 hours, right? That's usually a part-time. Yeah. So,
Yep.
okay, you have to get in the car maybe 45 minutes early to get to your job, to get into your job. Shower, dress, all that stuff, of course, brush your teeth, all the things. And then get in your car, get to Sunglass Hut, work your 4-hour shift that you're going to get $10 an hour for, $40, or maybe it's $50 for those 4 hours, whatever it may be. And then get in your car and head on home. How much time have you spent getting ready for that just 4-hour shift? A lot, because you figure you're probably like 2 hours on each end, or an hour on each end, or whatever. That's a lot of work, and it's a lot of just labor, physical labor, right? Well, with Park Lane, what's our average order, Nancy?
Probably $125.
Yeah, your average order is right around 125 dollars. So as a fashion director, your very first level with Park Lane, you're earning 30% of your sales. So let's just do it an even $100. That's $30, right? $30 you're earning for every average order that you take in. And how long does it take to get an average order? I mean, minutes. If you're helping them shop, maybe a little bit of time. But however, you just scored yourself a $30 paycheck based on one single order.
Right.
So, if your goal is to, I don't know what car payments are these days, but like, if you have a car payment of
You don't want to
$300,
know.
I don't want to know. Um, but say you have a bill that's $300 that you would love to be taken care of each month. You could have 10 average orders in 1 month and earn $300 and have that bill paid for. Simple as that. Like that would be stress off me. Like, what could that $300, just 10 average orders. That's it. Collected through, 31 days or whatever. Um that was eye-opening to me when you compare what you can do for the minimum wage job versus what we can do online, in person, showing people wearing the jewelry, going out to the coffee shop and wearing your jewelry. Somebody compliments
Going
you.
bonds.
Yeah, yeah, like, I know. I mean, it's real simple, and it's just, It's just, and the jewelry really does sell itself.
Absolutely.
It really does. So, and I don't know. And I love the fact that the age range that we can sell to is just like all over the board,
Oh, yes. Yes.
all over.
Literally things for um 6-year-olds, let's say. Basically, if they won't put it in their mouth anymore, it's okay.
Yeah. Right. I mean, yeah, exactly.
6 up to uh I have customers that are nearly 90,
Yeah,
and I have, you know,
exactly.
we have something for everyone. And I will tell you too, Seisha, one of my favorite things is that, because honestly, when I started, um, my plan was tiny bit of extra money, but mostly a whole bunch of jewelry. Because even though as I said, I never thought I would do anything like the direct sales, jewelry, whatever. Once I saw it, touched it all and everything, I suddenly needed it all. And so I love that basically we have this killer sale. And so even if you just want it for yourself, you basically use the killer sale, and then you get 30% on top of that back in a paycheck.
Yeah. Right.
So, because again, since there's no quotas and all of that kind of stuff, if you just want a great deal on great jewelry, then do it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. We call that like the preferred shopping program. You
Exactly.
know, yeah. And all that is just saying yes, signing on the dotted line and signing up. And then all of a sudden, like any purchases you make on your own website, you're going to get paid on.
Yep.
Um, and that kit price is just incredible. So it's
Oh,
$99
right.
for our basic kit. And our basic kit includes $500 in jewelry that you pick out. You pick out that $500. Whatever you pick out $500 worth in jewelry and you get your website. That is also was an
Pretty.
aha moment for some people because
Mhm.
a lot of companies like you have to pay like $12 a month, $15 a month to have that website. Um, but with Park Lane, you're getting your website with your kit in the
Right.
first year. And then after a year of doing it, you do have to pay renewal, but like honestly, it's a write off, right? We're in tax season.
Exactly.
There's a lot of write offs you can do. But yeah, that right there is really great. So because a lot of people would pay $99 for a website alone, but Park Lane's giving you jewelry on top of that.
Right.
My dog loves to just open up the door and let himself in, and then my kids are like gaming right outside the door. So I
Right.
apologize. It's real life, right?
Right. Another thing that I found out too, that I was really surprised by, is that um a friend of mine does another direct sales, and she has to pay her any if a customer pays with a credit card, she has to pay the fees.
Oh, yeah, that's not
Yeah,
good. Who
I
wants to
never
do that?
I never would have dreamed.
No, no.
Yeah.
And we take
So
American
I don't know
Express.
how many companies do that, but
Right.
I'm grateful that we don't.
Yeah. And along with that, we get paid weekly. And I didn't realize how much that actually cost the company to be doing payroll and getting paying us weekly. That's a really costly thing to do. So that's why some companies, they only pay you twice a month or once a month or whatever, but not Park Lane. They pay you weekly. So
Yep.
if you're submitting orders, you're going to get a weekly paycheck, which is
Direct
fantastic.
deposit.
Direct deposit, excuse me. Yeah.
Yep. Direct deposit.
Yeah, that itself is, I mean, they're just doing it right. It's like they've got 60 some years of experience and they know what they're doing.
Right.
Oh, wait.
Exactly.
Well, they do. They do. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. I don't know. So, right now we're earning Paris, which is just incredible. Like, check this out. my Mary Grace gave me a beret.
Oh, how cute. I love the color.
I look like a painter.
I will agree. But you're a super cute painter.
um, trees. We're gonna paint trees today. No.
I
But
love it.
anyways, is it so cute? Okay, so yeah, I obviously am not a beret wearer or anything like that. Maybe I'm wearing it wrong. I don't know. We have a really cute girl, Marielle, on our team that just can wear anything, and not look as silly as this. But I will say this: what were your feelings, Nancy, when they announced the Paris trip?
Oh my gosh. It's like a total like bucket list. Bucket list.
Right, right.
So,
Paris is one of those destinations where I'm like, that would be cool. Like to stand there and like pretend I'm holding the Eiffel Tower in my hand.
right, right,
Like that'd be neat, you know.
right,
But always one of those destinations where it's like, oh, I'll just look at it in pictures and just imagine what it's like in person, and
right,
but not ever in my wildest dreams think that we could go to Paris.
right, right.
Never.
And as you said earlier, there's nothing like a Park Lane trip. Absolutely nothing. I remember Disney World first trip. Was that your first trip too? We
It
joined like
was with Parkland,
okay.
yes.
So I remember Disney World and my youngest being, let's see, he's 20 now. So what I guess he was like 13. And and we're right here. So we're not huge fans of Disneyland. It's 40 minutes away, and
Right.
but we're not huge Disney fans. But Disney World, on the other hand, was just like one of those that would be so cool, right? And so when they announced the Disney World trip, I told my son, I said, we will go to Disney World. And so we did go to Disney World. Um, Myself, my husband, my youngest, and I was blown away by the fact that not only were we at this gorgeous resort, but obviously we had our Disney World tickets. And if you've ever been to Disney World, you know that the parks are all separate. So it's kind of like a day here, a day there. And, you plan a day for each park. And, but, our meal plan was included. And then I remember at our um I don't know if we call it closing dinner or whatever, but like the dinner the night before we all head home, right? But that dinner at Epcot, and Scott going up and saying, I just have been told that your meal plan is going to expire at midnight. And of course, we weren't like, I personally was flying out at like 8 in the morning, but some people were flying out at 6 in the morning. Some people were flying out till 3 or 4 in the afternoon. And so basically, so that nobody would have to pay for breakfast or lunch before they left to head home, they gave every single one of us, I think it was 50 Disney dollars.
Mhm.
I think it was 50 per person. So my husband got 50, I got 50, my son got 50. And and that was just so we wouldn't have to pay for food before we left. One meal. They
Yeah.
did not want us to have to pay for one single meal before we left. And
Yeah.
I was absolutely blown away by that.
Yeah.
Just absolutely blown away.
Yeah. 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 That was such an incredible trip. Um,
Right?
yeah, I was pregnant, so I couldn't go on all the rides,
Oh,
which
right.
that kind of was disappointing, but that's okay. I ate the $50 worth of food.
Right.
But yeah, no, that was an incredible trip. That was a bucket list trip for me personally. Like,
Right.
growing up, so we went to Disneyland all the time because we had relatives in California right by Disneyland. So like that was a regular trip for my cousins and I. We always went to Disneyland. But Disney
Right.
World was a bucket thing for my family and
Exactly.
I. And we had a coin jar in like by my parents' bedroom growing up. And we would just toss coins in this jar all the time to save money to go to Disney World. We
Right.
never made it. We never.
Same.
I mean, by the time my brother was in college and then I was off to college, it was just like, well, oh well, we just didn't get there. And so like my dream was to always go to Disney World, and then we came over to Park Lane, and that trip was announced pretty much right as soon as we came over.
Right.
And I was like, I finally get to go. I was in
Yep.
tears. I was in tears.
Yeah.
But yeah, such an incredible opportunity. I mean, well, let's try to see if we can name a lot of the trips that have Park Lane to put people through. So, okay, Disney World. There was a cruise that happened like right when the pandemic hit that people were on.
Oh,
Forget where that
right.
cruise went to. There was Greece, Portugal,
Oh, yeah.
Switzerland. Yeah. Greece, Portugal, Switzerland. They've been to Paris once before. Um,
Right.
let's see. I just did
There was,
Aruba.
right.
Um,
Was it another Hawaii trip also to a different island?
I think so. There, yeah, I believe so. And then I feel like there was Punta Cana in there somewhere too. Or,
Yes. Yes.
yeah. So I mean, they have really gone everywhere from like the European style trips to tropical trips and all of that. And Disney World, and yeah. So and every single one of them, they're yeah. My husband still talks about the meals he had in Key West.
Right.
Mhm. Yeah, because I mean, it was the first trip after we were really allowed to go after the pandemic.
Hmm.
And so Park Lane really treated us well. Um, one dinner in particular, we got to this restaurant that they booked out just for us. They closed it down, open just for us. They had entertainment, music entertainment, live entertainment, open bar the entire night, which we didn't realize because like they were just serving us these Park Lane drinks, right? So we thought, oh, these are covered, whatever. Until my husband went up to the bar to get a beer, and they didn't want his money. And he's like, "What?" He's like, "It's an open bar." It's like, "What?" Okay.
Does
Um,
that?
I know, right? Okay. And then the appetizers kept coming, and I thought, well, goodness, this must be it. The Park Lane drinks. This is before I knew there was the open bar. Park Lane drinks and the appetizers and the entertainment. I'm like, this is a fantastic night. And then I saw the buffet start to get put up. I'm like,
Right.
wait a second. Wait a second. They are setting up a giant buffet over there. We're in Key West. So what do you think's on that buffet? Like jumbo lobster tails. Like huge. Like to the point where Michelle Zito and her husband Anthony, they live over in New York, who like eat seafood all the time like that. They're like, we've never seen such a large one. And Craig is like, his mouth was on the floor when we went through the
Right.
buffet line. Because I told him, stop eating the appetizers, because look, they're getting things set up over there. And we were just amazed. Like Craig even talks still to this day about that dinner. Because that dinner was well worth like $125 per plate and just the
Oh, yeah.
food.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
it was just insane. And then of course they had dessert, you know.
Right.
But being on a Park Lane vacation isn't like anything else. It really isn't. Um, so it's the great thing is it's achievable by everybody. Everybody can
Yes.
earn a
Yep.
trip. You
Yep.
don't have to be a higher
Absolutely.
up leader. It is not just a trip for the leaders.
Yep.
No,
Absolutely.
it's obtainable by
Well,
absolutely everybody.
um, I don't know her name because she's so new. Um, but remember Mary Grace posted the first, so there in our larger organization, there's a lady who literally signed up a month ago. She has already earned a trip to Paris.
Yeah.
And she did not come in. as a leader. She
No.
came in as a fashion
True.
director, starting at the bottom. She's never done any other direct sales, I don't believe. She just came in. She has already earned Paris. I
Yeah.
mean, it's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a thing. It is absolutely. That's a really good point. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
her name's Susan. I think she came in the end of November or something like that, beginning of December. I can't remember, but like she is
Okay.
really fresh new, and we just started earning this trip in January, mid
Yes.
January, and she's already earned a trip for one.
Yep.
So it's really incredible. Absolutely incredible. And honestly, they've offered us triple points in the beginning month
Oh, right.
and
Right.
double points in February. So like they have I mean they want us to earn it, you guys. And I don't know if they've done the drawing, but one of the last weeks Park Lane was like, "Hey, submit $500 and I'm going to toss your name into a drawing for a free trip to Paris." Just $500 in sales.
Oh,
So, and
right.
they did
Think
that
that-
with Aruba. They were giving away like I think they gave away like 4 Aruba trips to people
Mhm.
just for
Mhm.
submitting like $500 in sales.
Yep.
So they do those things all the time. So that just shows you hard on the sleeve. They want you there. They want us there. So yeah,
Yeah, I think I want to say every trip for at least the last 4 or 5 years, they've given away every earning period. They have given us the opportunity to earn tickets or whatever you want to call it into the raffle, and they've given away at least 4 or 5 trips each time.
yeah,
It's amazing.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, like if they do it again, which they probably will do it again for Paris.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could sign up as a preferred shopper and win a trip to Paris. Um, if they shoot out that incentive for us again, it's just insane what they do for us. I mean, I'm just so excited to be able to talk about it with people. Because it's a shame when people don't. It's an opportunity that needs to be heard by a lot of people, and especially in this day and age when eggs have out costed are now higher in price than beef. Like I heard that
Right.
stat today. What? And
Right.
and let's be honest, having a little side gig like this of jewelry that really sells itself that you can sell to all ages everywhere all the time, and they don't care how you sell it, by the way. That's another thing too. You can post it on your personal page, you can post it on Instagram, you can post it on TikTok, you can do that however you want. There's no rules. They don't govern you with rules, because I know some companies do. And like that little extra stream of income can mean the world of a difference for somebody's kitchen table, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
So, and it would be a shame if we didn't talk about it. So, and I say this on a lot of my lives. If you're watching this and know that you don't need it, but maybe you know somebody who does, we love referrals. We're not pressure kind of people at all. If you know Nancy and I, you know that we're not. Um,
Right.
but share this with somebody. Share this with somebody, because it's an opportunity that needs to be heard by the world.
Right.
Um,
Well, I always say when I'm talking to somebody, I always say that, um, if it hadn't been shared with me, I wouldn't be here today, and that's the thing is that I never in a million years, you probably didn't either, thought 16 years ago that you'd still be selling jewelry, right?
right.
And honestly, as somebody with like zero direct sales experience, like thinking that like, you know, real people don't earn those trips, and real people don't earn the Mercedes car program that we didn't even talk about, right? But
No, we didn't talk about that either.
like that doesn't happen to real people, but it does happen to real people.
Mhm.
And that's the thing is that you might not even I remember the first time I earned like some free jewelry. I didn't even know I was earning free jewelry. I
Yeah.
was just having fun and like My friends were loving it, and I was just having fun and like making a little bit extra money, earning, and then all of a sudden I get an email that like you earned $250 in free jewelry. And I'm like, what? I had to go look and see how I did that because I didn't even know.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, it's just insane. I remember. Okay, quick story, and then oh gosh, we should probably get off the live.
Okay.
When we first came on, I'm pretty sure you had this also incentive. When we first came over to Park Lane, Scott did a private challenge to us, and I remember this distinctly. He said, "Whatever you sell in a certain time period, I'm going to match that in jewelry." And I was like, "Are you serious?" Like, well,
Right.
I'm going to go for it. I think I sold like $1,900 in that time period. So I was emailing somebody in the home office. I'm like, okay, well, this was my sales. And they're like, okay, pick out $1,900 in free jewelry.
I had forgotten about
What?
that. Yes. Yes. I had completely forgotten
I,
about that.
this is insane. Are you serious? I felt like I was stealing. I'm like, well, he's already given me this opportunity, and now I get to pick out $1,900 in jewelry. Like,
Right.
oh
Yes.
my goodness! Like, this is just mind blowing. Even like a couple weeks ago, they put out an incentive, like, do XYZ, and you're gonna go into a drawing for $1,000 in jewelry, and that was just our group, that
Right.
somebody's winning $1,000 in jewelry. Um, so it's just kind of, I mean, if you don't see the heart on the sleeve, like, you wipe your eyes off because it's there. It's just insane what kind of heart they have for us. They want us to
Absolutely.
keep our paycheck in our pocket, and they want us to be able to just show this jewelry and what amazingness this company is. It's yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
Anything else? I don't think we have any more questions. I'm looking here. Um, if you catch this on the replay, pop a replay in here, hashtag replay, and then ask a question. If it's on Nancy's page, or I guess I'm on your page too, I can help answer it. But like,
Whichever.
um, yeah, yeah, ask a question. We'll still answer it and stuff. But thank you for whatever portion of this live that you caught, because it's always great to just chit chat and just talk
Right.
about it on a Tuesday. It's the same.
Yes.
But thank you,
It's been
Nancy, for
super
talking
fun.
and sharing.
Yes. You
Uh, and
too.
and everybody else, we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye, everybody.